Southwest Florida, welcome back to Lee Pitts Live. I'm always happy to come out and cover the African Network of Southwest Florida's Gala. This is the 2018. We're at the reception phase, and a lot of people are starting to file in. Big shout out to my son, Brandon Lee Pitts, who's behind the camera. My 9-year-old is finally getting out here and getting his feet wet, working with Daddy. He's so excited about the African culture, my son, and he's been asking us, Muhammed, for about 5 weeks. When are we going to the Gala? Because he saw the movie Black Panther, and he's seen it about 10 times, and he loved it. So this is a good opportunity for him to meet real Africans in person. I didn't meet my first African in person until I was in college. How about yourself?
I think I went to school with some Africans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you say you were about 18, 19, or was in high school? It was in, like before then?
Probably in high school.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's get this mic up a little higher.
Okay.
Now, Muhammad, we're here at the African Network of Southwest Florida's annual gala at the Crown Plaza Hotel. I've seen you at numerous galas over the years. You seem to always come out and support in the Quality Life Center and the Center for Islam and Cultural Studies.
Center for Islam and Cultural Awareness.
Right, because you wear both hats. Islam in Africa, there's a direct correlation there, isn't it?
Well, Islam has a strong presence. It has a historical impact in terms of establishing education, in terms of establishing various universities, and the influence of progress in terms of technology, science, and medicine throughout the continent of Africa, moving up into the Spain area, and eventually all over the world. Yes.
For us to have an event like this, celebrating Africa in all of its various forms, what does that do for our community?
Well, I think it brings a greater sense of consciousness and awareness of our genesis. All of us have our beginnings on the continent of Africa. And as we evolved throughout the diaspora, throughout the country and the world, we recognize that there's a real link. And many people of color identify with Africa, identify with the need to connect and to do trade and business. And so I think African Network brings a great deal of awareness. Peter Nui's leadership in that area in inviting people from various countries in Africa, bringing awareness right here in the Fort Myers area has had a big impact.
Dr. Denui, Peter Denui, that Mr. Muhammad mentioned, is the president of the African Network of Southwest Florida. One of the things from talking to Dr. Denui over the years, he is a big fan of yours, and of course you're a big fan of his. And I've seen both of you do what you do, and you work together in many capacities in partnership. Talk about that relationship.
Well, I think it's a mutual interest that we have in working together to inspire the community, to raise awareness. Many people are not aware Dr. Inouye, Peter Inouye, was one of our early tutors at Quality Life Center when he first came to this area. And so since those days, we've had a relationship. He often invites me to speak to his classes, and currently at FGCU. And so we recognize that it's important that we work together in a collaborative way, and certainly the African Network will be a part of the up-and-coming Kwanzaa celebration.
And that's on December the 29th, I think around 6 o'clock at the Dr. Kerry Robinson Center. We'll plug that as well. And you guys, Quality Life Center has done a great job of including so many various organizations to come in and participate in that. Let's talk about that briefly as well. One is, for all practical purposes, the Quality Life Center took the lead on this, and you guys have always taken the lead on Kwanzaa. You're bringing in a lot of different organizations, and you moved it over to the Dr. Kerry Robinson Center this year. It'll be an even bigger opportunity for celebration. Talk about that.
Okay, I think one, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the city of Fort Myers. We pursued a grant and was successful in getting it, and we have used those dollars to help us to expand awareness as far as Kwanzaa is concerned. So that's very important. But all of us recognize in the community that many of our organizations are siloed. We're focused on whatever it is, whether it's the churches, the mosques, the organizations, the fraternities, sororities, and they are all doing good things, contributing to our community. But this represents an opportunity for us to kind of bring together, to galvanize, to exchange knowledge, information, and let's see how we can have a greater impact in our community in a very positive way as we move forward in 2019.
I've been around here for a long period of time, at least over 30 years. Of course, I met you way back in the day. When you were coming up and you had just sort of moved to the community. I hadn't been here too long and used to drive a little Mercedes Benz. You don't know, I remember that. Right. And
that was when I first came.
That's right.
Here.
And that eventually disappeared really quickly, and you were the real estate guy and you were going to do your thing. And then you eventually saw a bigger and more important mission was to make opportunities as better for our youth in the community. You've done an outstanding job in that. I want to compliment you with that on television. I said all that to say this, Mr. Muhammad, is that based on all the things that I know about the upcoming Kwanzaa, this is the first time I've really seen this type of opportunity for everybody to come together as a unit and start to work together on something going forward.
Yeah, I think, again, not to be redundant, but this gives us an opportunity. Certainly, we've invited you to be a part. We want you to deliver a very key message because you're someone who have transcended as well as you're involved in many organizations. And I think what you see and what you think, I think you have a wonderful message to deliver to all of the organizations. So we're looking forward to hearing from you. But this gives us an opportunity to break bread, to listen to each other, to see the diversity of ideas and thoughts, as well as culture, because all cultures are welcomed at the Kwanzaa, as I think your previous
not a religious, all cultures, all
That's
types
right.
of organization. It's going to be a spectacular night on December the 29th at the Dr. Kerry Robinson Center. The Quality Life Center, I want to go back there since I got you here. Is always an opportunity in terms of continuing the process of expanding the Quality Life Center to include a teen center that will house all of those teens that are being turned away from the Quality Life Center. Give us an update on that and how people can become a part of this expansion.
Thank you for asking that, Lee. Within the last year, we've turned away over 200 children, many of whom were teenagers. And many programs in our community don't serve teenagers. And so the building expansion was sparked by the need to serve our young adults. Teenagers are valuable also. They have thoughts, they have ideas, they're productive, and it's important that we create an environment in our community that speaks to their greatness. And so the expansion, meaning building another facility that will accommodate our teen center, but also a banquet hall, a commercial kitchen that will allow the community to utilize it in great ways. We're very, very excited about that. With the help of a lot of good people, our goal is 1.5 million, and actually with the construction industry, everything is getting expensive literally every day.
I see.
In terms of supplies. So our goal was 1.5 million. As of yesterday, we're about at $123,000 away from that goal. So
Okay.
we've come a long way.
Woo!
And so if any of your listening audience hears this, we would like to encourage you to join us in having this very positive impact in the community. I think it's important that we establish institutions that are long after we're gone for our children and families.
Muhammad, that institution, that's the first. I mean, a long time ago, when I was teaching swimming at the pool, you don't remember, but things that you say, I remember. You say, Lee, what about when you stopped teaching swimming? How is the legacy going to continue? How are we going to keep this swimming program going? So you have a great deal of respect and for the importance of institutions.
Absolutely. See, here's what I hope collectively. I talked to Brother Edie a little while ago and other community influencers. We hope that we can come together at the Kwanzaa and make a statement that will allow us to remove all barriers of working together in a collaborative way, bringing our collective intelligence to have a great impact on our children as well as our adults and our families as well. So institutions are vital in our community. Institutions I'm talking about, it's not about Lee Pitts or Abdul'haq. We're here for a finite period of time and we're gone. but what happens beyond? And so the community consciousness and working together is vital in order to sustain institutions that are long after we're gone.
And I think the Quality Life Center, as it exists and how it came about, and of course, you know, I was there when it came about as a board member and many other ways of working with the Quality Life Center over the many years, is an example of how an institution can be developed and how it can become sustainable over a long period of time. I know you're very modest about some things, but tell us about some of the core things that went into the development of what we have now as the Quality Life Center.
Well, when we talk about what are some of the core things, if you're referring to our programs, our activities, or you referring to the strategies that we've had to implement in order to attract resources to, number one, renovate a building that has historically been used as a house of ill repute, a drug den, a crack house, and where we've been blessed to transform that facility, then this gives us another opportunity to create a facility that will serve our community in a more significant way. And so this is important for, I believe, all of our community.
And there are people who are watching this on social media and around the world, actually. And what is Quality Life Center?
Quality Life Center is a philosophy of living, a vision for self-development. Our mission is personal and community transformation. We do that by demystifying the world for young people. We help young people to understand that they're blessed with an intellect, and this mind has the capacity to change the station of life where we may find ourselves. We are obviously serving children in historically challenged, financially challenged, economically challenged neighborhoods. And those environments
academically challenged too.
That's right. Those environments
intellectually.
often I would say, influences the thinking and the way people see themselves and see their future. And so our work is to help young people to realize that this gift of a brain that the Creator has given us has the opportunity to change our very future. We can reshape our world, and we can either free our souls from the decadence of the community and poverty, or we can transform ourselves by the renewing of our mind. Doesn't that sound familiar from Scripture?
Right. Now, you have had the pleasure of traveling in Africa, spending time in Africa. We're here at the African Network of Southwest Florida's Gala. Tell me some things that you've observed, not only in your travels, but being around Africans in general, that are good value, principle things that we as a society can embrace that can make us a better society.
I think the biggest thing that stands out in my travels, and I've traveled and did work in North Africa, in Morocco area. I would travel along West Africa through Mauritania to Senegal. I've been to Saudi Arabia, and that interaction, particularly in North and West Africa, what stood out the most is a clearly defined culture. A culture is an environment that allows children and families to operate with a philosophy of living that perpetuates growth and development.
I see.
Coming in this country, growing up in this country, often culture was not as clear. Yes, there is a culture, but often many of our community have embraced a negative culture that have hurt our future and opportunities. So when you go to various parts of Africa, you see cultural intact. Not to say that there aren't any challenges and problems, they are. But there's a philosophy of living that strengthens the human family, and that's something that we are often missing in this country. And hence comes now Kwanzaa, why those values and principles are so important.
What is Kwanzaa?
Kwanzaa was established around 1966 by Dr. Ron Karenga. He observed in America, people of color, particularly African Americans, were very confused about their culture. And he took knowledge from Kenya, from various parts of Africa, and came up with a philosophy of Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa literally means first fruit of harvest. And so it has its genesis in a gregarian society that many cultural dances, language, systems of living comes from in the continent of Africa. So those 7 principles was an attempt to make and help people of color to become more responsible, to recognize that they have principles and values that they can live by that will progress their lives.
Excellent. We also encourage people who are going to come to Kwanzaa on December the 29th. You need to RSVP through the Quality Life Center. Ms. Keisha was here earlier to give that information, but go to the Quality Life Center's website and click on Ms. Keisha's website email address and email her. RSVP is absolutely free. I don't know if I can put you on the spot to give Ms. Keisha's email address, or should you just give your address?
Sure. No, Ms. Keisha's address is K Allen, ALLEN, at QLCSWFL.org.
Okay, just RSVP there. Send on your name. Let them know how many people coming, because they have to map out the tables and how much food and all this stuff that goes along with that.
Or they can just contact Quality Life Center.
Call the old-fashioned phone number.
The message will get to her.
Give that phone number.
239-334-2797.
Okay.
It's the same number we've always had.
Hey, man, is Abdul'haq Muhammed and his Lee Pitts. We're still at it again, man.
Well, this is always a reunion connecting with you, brother, because you were a part of that process in the earlier days. And it's beautiful to see that you're continuing to be supportive of our efforts, and we're supportive of you as well. So we're encouraged. Matter of fact, you were the person that introduced us to the culture, to the corporate community, if I can say that, as it relates to our fundraising efforts.
Right.
So we appreciate your contribution.
Well, at the time when I was doing it, it was a labor of love. And I could envision one day that it would grow to what it has become. But I must say, I could not have envisioned what it has actually become and what it's going to continue to evolve into. It is a oasis in our community, the Quality Life Center, and it is a example that should be replicated throughout our nation.
Well, I want to just say one or two things, if I can, before you conclude. Under Ms. Keisha's direction, we have approximately 12 girls that are dancing with the Russian ballet next month at Barbara Mann. And every year they have what is called the Nutcracker.
I see.
And we have some of our children right from the community who are involved training with the Russian ballet dances and are a part of that presentation. And so that's a real achievement.
Outstanding.
And the last, I would like to express our deep appreciation for all of our staff members who worked so hard in making the work that we do a reality. And a special acknowledgement to our board and our parents who are involved in what we're doing. We're very grateful for all of their contributions.
Well, I'm just thrilled and delighted that I got a chance to chat with you. I know I chat with you a lot, but I don't take any of these chats for granted. I always learn something, and I'm a big fan of yours, and I know you don't like direct spotlight put on you, but I'm a big fan of what you've been able to do in leading the Quality Life Center to become what it has become in the community. I'm looking forward to a day when we change the name of Cuba Street, which runs along the side of the Quality Life Center on the east side, to the Q Street or Quality Life Center Street or Quality Life Center Boulevard, whatever we're going to do it. But I'm going to be still pushing that,
That's
bro.
beautiful. I appreciate that suggestion that you've made. I'm sure you'll be speaking with the mayor and city manager, so you're our point person on that initiative.
As long as I got your support. Hey, Muhammad, it still falls under institution.
That's right.
It's under institution,
Always
something we can point to.
branding the community so that we can look back and our signage, our facilities has deeper meaning than just bricks and mortar and a sign. It has history associated with it, and we have to pass that history on to our children.
My man. Thanks again.
All right, brother.
We'll be right back. Thank you, little Lee Pitts.